Discover why people are falling in love with Esperanza here in Boerne, Texas. 1,700 acres, absolutely beautiful homes, everything close to proximity. Literally in the same neighborhood on site, there is an elementary school. Today in this video, we're going to talk about the 5 pros and the 5 cons about living in Esperanza here in Boerne, Texas. So let's get after it. If you're looking to move to Boerne, Texas or any of the surrounding areas in 9 days, 9 weeks, or 9 months, please go ahead and contact me. My name is Buenteo. I'm a 3-time top producer for my brokerage and a top 1000 agent here in San Antonio, Texas. My Calendar link is down below. My number is 210-996-9608. My YouTube QR code is at the top right. So please reach out to me. Let's get to the rest of the video. So the first pro that we're going to focus on is just how massive Esperanza is, and there is so much room for growth. So we could look at it 2 ways, right? One, there's just so much to do that there's no real reason to ever leave the community. However, if you did leave, downtown Boerne is about 3 to 5 minutes away. So it is extremely close. Now, San Antonio, because you're about 25 to 30 minutes away from here. Now, if you're going downtown San Antonio, it's a bit farther of a drive. However, in Texas miles or Texas time, it's relatively close. So it's about 30 to 35 minutes away. The airport is about 30 to 40 minutes away. That's one thing as a pro to look at is proximity. You really don't have to leave Esperanza to do stuff here, and everything is so close. The second part of this pro is just the amenity center. I'm going to try to get some footage for you guys just to show you how beautiful, and there's also a private club membership if you live here, and then the pool and everything that comes along with this, the walking trails. It's just so nice living here in Esperanza, and just the proximity to downtown is even better because it's not far away. Let's go to pro number 2. All right, so we're gonna walk this way, and this is both the entrance and the exit to this community. And if you take a right here, this will jump into pro number 2. I touched a little bit on the amenity center, but I'm going to touch on what it actually includes. So the amenity center has an 11-acre lazy river, a splash pad for the kids. I mean, or the adults, you can jump in if you'd like. Also has an RV trailer parking. It has a dog park, and then there is so much more. So one of the big highlights here, like I said, is that you don't necessarily have to leave to go have fun. Now, one of the things I would say if you do want to leave is you want to go eat somewhere, right? The eateries, the coffee shops, you want to experience downtown Boerne. But that is pro tip, or pro number 2 is definitely just all of what the amenity center has to offer. Let's go to pro 3. Pro number 3, and remember, I always say pro is proximity, right? And so pro number 3 for living here in Esperanza is the schools. If you have babies, it's something really, really important to obviously think about, consider, because you want to know, 1, the community that you're moving into, but 2, how great the schools are and how far they are from this community. So walk with me this way as we check out this beautiful home built by Highland Homes. That's not the main feature here, but I mean, it's one of the options, right? So we have HERF, and that's literally walking distance. And I'm gonna try to go grab some footage of that. But I mean, it is footsteps away. So you can know that your child is close, that they're safe, that they're secure. And if you ever, like if there's an emergency, God forbid, but they do happen. If there's an emergency, you're close to them, right? You can go get them as quickly as you possibly can get there. And then we have Boerne Middle School. And in greatschools.org, that's actually rated a 7 out of 10. You can go check it yourself. Remember, I'm pulling this data from a reliable, trusted source, so greatschools.org. That's a 7 out of 10, and that's 2 to 3 miles away. And then Boerne High, one of the high schools here, that one is the closest one here. It's what it's zoned to this community, is also a 7 out of 10, and it's about 2 to 3 miles away. So let's go to pro tip number 4. All right, you guys, so we've done pros 1, 2, and 3. 4 and 5 are going to focus on the proximity to what's called the Boerne Hill Country Mile. And it's this long stretch of eateries, just wine, drinks, coffee shops, but it's literally just a whole mile of entertainment and fun. And it's extremely close. So from here, remember I told you it was about, I'm gonna go this way so we can get the whole house. It's about 3 to 5 minutes away. So it is extremely close. So imagine you have all of this entertainment that Esperanza has to offer. And then you go and just hit that mile long of entertainment, right? There is like stone or oven baked pizza. There is Black Rifle Coffee Company, and I love going there. The coffee is so strong, and I'm a dad of 3 and I absolutely need it. The 5th one is the infrastructure that's growing around here, right? And I'm gonna walk and talk. But Herf Road is getting a ton of expansion. I've actually heard that they are actually going to be getting a Buc-ee's. And if you're not from Texas, Buc-ee's is the HEB of gas stations. Like, it is absolutely insane, and it's always clean, and they have so much to eat. They're actually also getting a 24/7 ER. So that will be really, really, really beneficial to people, because most of the drives to the hospitals from here are a little far away. So we can take away that con and turn it into a pro. So if you're thinking about moving here and they're like, well, there's just nowhere for me to go if there's an emergency, just know an ER that's 24/7 will be coming up. So those are the 5 pros. Let's hop into the cons. Okay, I know we were going to transition into the cons, but I think this is extremely important. I'm not really going to lump it into the pros or a con. Well, you could see it as a pro because these are very positive future endeavors that Boerne is going to be implementing. So one of them is Boerne Northside Community Park. It's actually breaking ground this summer. They're going to have a splash pad. They're going to have pickleball courts, a skate park. I mean, there is so much to do here in Boerne. And then the second one, the next one is crime and safety. So Boerne, for as long as my colleague and I have known, literally had no crime. That's not true, but the crime is relatively low from all of the other areas. Now, on the flip side, you could say, well, with more growth could potentially come more crime. That is true. However, I will say that Boerne always puts positive measures in place to keep the community and the city safe. So even though there will be more growth and expansion in Boerne, they are actually putting in more preventative measures to keep the crime levels low. So remember, what's coming is that north side park here in Boerne with the splash pad, the skate park, the dog park, and then the crime is relatively low. So we'll tack those into just an additional bonus pros. This isn't my favorite thing to talk about, but as I say in all of my pros and cons videos, I have to give you guys the correct information, because you're the one purchasing the property, you're the one purchasing the proximity, you have to know what you're coming into. But as I'm giving you the cons, look at this view, and the elementary school is literally right there. So I'm gonna walk and talk this way, and we're gonna talk about the first one. I'm gonna take my glasses real quick. So the first one definitely has to be the distance to San Antonio, right? So from here to downtown San Antonio, give or take with traffic, it's gonna be about 30 to 40 minutes, probably pushing closer to 40 minutes, right? Now, let's talk about our military people, because we're military USA, right? So Lackland, Sam Houston, there's a wasp right there, so I'm gonna walk and talk this way so I don't get stung. My son got stung the other day. First time he got stung by a wasp, so there's that. And he handled it like a champ. But let me switch out my glasses real quick. So Lackland from here is about 45 minutes to an hour. Now, you could see that as a con. However, most people that are military, they're veterans, that do commute to Lackland, most of them have hybrid. Look at this beautiful home, Scott Felder. But most of them have hybrid roles, or they're just remote, right? But if you ever do have to go into the base, and Lackland is southwest, and then you have Randolph and Sam Houston, which are more northeast. From here, it's about equal distance, about 45 minutes to an hour. But like I said, most people, military family, the military personnel have hybrid roles, so they don't mind the distance, right? So, okay, one day I do have to go in 45 minutes to an hour away, but the other, 4 days I get to stay home. So you could see it as a con because of the driving distance, but remember, it's always about perspective and shift. And so if we saw it as a pro, if you're in a hybrid role or you're just 100% remote and you don't necessarily have to go into the office, maybe they'll call you in sometimes, this could be a pro. But the con is the driving distance from here to downtown San Antonio, and just San Antonio itself is about 30 to 40 minutes away. And then the commute to the Air Force bases is about 45 minutes to an hour. So let's go to con number 2. All right, so we went over con number 1. Here's con number 2. Again, a lot of these are perspective. So con number 2 is definitely the price point, right? Boerne in and of itself is a higher priced community. Now, there are some builders out here that are building in like the mid 3s and the high 3s. And when I say that, I mean, 350,000 to 380, 390,000. So that's what I mean by mid X, right? But these start in the high 5s, low 6s. So the sales consultant just told us that they have some Scott Felder inventory that start in the high 5s. So that is one of the cons, that these are higher price homes from the high 5s to some even get to the $1 million range. So if that's something that's more suitable for you, contact me. And if it's not, let's not let this con put a damper on you coming into Boerne or you coming into San Antonio, because we can absolutely find a home for you. It might not just be out here in Esperanza. Let's go to con number 3. All right, so I love the HOA and I don't love HOAs, but I do love this HOA. However, as much as it is a pro because everything it offers, we're also going to put it in the con category. I will say this though, most HOAs you can absolutely pay at the beginning of the year, so they don't actually affect your monthly payments. Look at this stunning, beautiful Perry home. Those lines are different. You actually don't get that a lot here in Texas. So that could be a con, but a pro because you can find it in Boerne. But the third one definitely is the HOA. I don't specifically know because I don't specifically know how high the HOA is. However, I can infer that it is probably going to be on the higher side because everything that Esperanza offers. Now the fourth one, now the growth is definitely a pro because it's an equity play. If you're planning to be here for a long time, get into your home, stay in it for the next 15, 20, 30 years, absolutely wonderful. But when growth happens, construction is happening right along with it. So that's the fourth one. But my colleague and I were talking, if you don't want any traffic, honestly, you're gonna have to be somewhere like super remote because growth is happening here in Texas and growth is happening everywhere in Texas. So, but it is a con, it is something to keep in mind. So number 3 is the HOA and the amenities, the costs. And number 4 is the growth and construction. So let's get to number 5. All right, so we're nearing the end of the video. If you stuck with me, I really appreciate it. I really want to put out these videos for information and for value, and for anybody that is relocating into San Antonio, into Boerne, any of the surrounding cities. Or inside a Perry home, and it's absolutely beautiful. Or in San Antonio and is looking to move to, to Boerne, to Kerrville, to any of just the surrounding smaller cities, towns. I just want to be a resource. That's all I want to be. I want to be a guide. I want to make this transition as smooth as possible because moving is hard, and I completely understand. Look how beautiful. But number 5 is definitely, this is a car-dependent community. I haven't really seen like a bus system. I'm not entirely too sure if the VIA even comes out here, to be quite frank with you. So you'll need a vehicle, right? Now there are walking trails, but that's just part of the community. If you want to get on Main Street or Herf, you're going to have to have a car. But now to round everything out, Esperanza has everything for you, right? For retirees, for families that are growing, this is it. this is it. I also want to say, because I'm a dad myself, I don't know if this will air or drop on Father's Day, but to all of the dads, all the fathers, to my dad, he taught me how to work extremely hard and to never give up. Happy Father's Day, men. And keep fighting for the Lord, keep fighting for your family, and just keep fighting for the good fight. That's all we can do. Let's go to the outro. So if you're thinking about moving to Boerne, Texas in 9 days, 9 weeks, or 9 months, I would love to help you make that transition as smooth as possible. I've helped countless of families sell and buy their homes. My name is Buentello. Thank you for watching the video. I am with eXp Realty. My number is 210-996-9608. My calendar link is down below. Don't forget to subscribe. My QR code is at the top right. God bless you guys and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.